As you can tell by the aesthetic of the channel, I'm a massive Power Rangers fan.
Look at this.
Like a lot of kids from the 90s and early 2000s, it was something I grew up with and still heavily enjoy. The good and the bad. Even as an adult, I can't get enough of these color-coded crusaders. But this video isn't about the cultural juggernaut that took the 90s by storm. It's about what made Power Rangers possible in the first place. If you were like me, it probably took you a long time to realize that Power Rangers is actually an adaptation of an existing Japanese IP, Super Sentai. In fact, most of the action scenes from Power Rangers are spliced footage directly from the corresponding Sentai series being adapted. We're not going to get into all the behind the scenes stuff, but it's good to know a little lore before getting into things. Super Sentai has been running since the 1960s and is still going strong. Starting with this video, I'm going to review each and every episode from where it all began. I thought the most appropriate series to start with would be the season from which Power Rangers got to start in the first place. There were other seasons that came before it, so if this review series does well enough, I'll definitely go back to review the older ones. I'm going to do my best to review each season as its own thing, and not compare it to its adaptation. Finally, if you want to watch along with me, most of these series are online at watchthatshout/tv.com. Link on the screen. Now with all that out of the way, let's get on with the review of episode 1 of Kyoryu Sentai Zyuranger. Right from the jump, I have to say I kind of vibe with the opening song. Like a lot of Japanese media, it's catchy and it'll be in my ear all day. As for the episode proper, it's action after action after action. Barring the opening scene and setting up a peaceful day in contemporary Japan, things pick up quick with little time to breathe. On this fateful day, Japanese astronauts were sent into space to explore Nemesis, a mysterious planet that nears Earth every 23 million years. But these astronauts aren't the only passengers. They brought kids with them! What kind of irresponsible mess is that? We have a planet that hasn't been near Earth in millions of years, and the space program thought, let's give two untrained, unqualified, unfit liabilities the trip of a lifetime. Yeah, that's not gonna bite them in the butt later. Ignoring the ethical and logistical nightmare, the crew reach the planet and very soon encounter a sealed container. The groundskeeper or apartment superintendent we're introduced to on Earth, who suddenly sprouts elf ears to hear into space, fears the worst as these two astronauts decide it's a smart idea to unseal this magical space dumpster. Lo and behold, the container unleashes a crew of evil beings led by the evil witch Bandora. It's revealed that Bandora and her minions were sealed for 170 million years, and she plans to wipe out the human race, but not before literally blowing the two astronauts either to the moon or the other side of the planet. It's not super clear. And seizing the space shuttle with the kids still in it. Either way, they're not getting workers' comp for that. Once on Earth, Bandora frightens the whole of Tokyo, constructs her palace, and faces the groundskeeper, who then reveals himself as the White Wizard Barza, who fought the witch all those years ago, but is significantly weakened. This might sound crazy to say, but I'm kinda digging Bandora so far. She's the definition of a cruel, sadistic, irredeemable villain, accentuated only by her constant evil grin. Bandora stands on business. She tells Barza that in an hour, the kids in the shuttle are going to be crushed thanks to an elaborate trap her crew constructed. Initially, I was like, why wouldn't you just kill them now? This isn't efficient at all, but it only adds to her sadism. Bandora hates children and thrives on witnessing their fear and misery, but evil cannot be allowed to win. Using a magical elevator that seemingly takes them to heaven, Barza unlocks 4 warriors from suspended animation after, you guessed it, 170 million years, to take on Bandora's brood. They're Goshi, Boy, Don, and May, color-coded for your convenience. Barza is struggling to open the 5th door, so he sends the others to do what they can until he can get the 5th door open. I say this is where things start to get weird, but weird might as well be the show's secondary title. These prehistoric warriors just woke into the modern world, and already know how to operate motor vehicles? I can no longer suspend my disbelief, Super Sentai. Fix your sh**! They make it inside the palace to try and save the kids, but are eventually captured. Back on the floor 2000, aka Heaven, the 5th door is at last open, thanks to Dino Jesus, and the Crimson Crime Fighter rushes to the scene. He reveals himself as Geki, and swiftly frees the other warriors. Barza must have been practicing his pitching skills for a millennia or two, because he then yanks the metals the 5 warriors need to transform for this fight. Dino bucklers in hand, they become the Dinosaur Squad Zyuranger! Mic drop. Now having even the odds a bit, the Rangers, it's in the title, so I'm gonna go with split to fend off Gryffindor and the Clayheads, as well as save the kids. Like with any good superhero moment, the shuttle is saved at the very last second before it can get crushed. Hooray! The kids are saved, Pandora is defeated for the day, and the Japanese space program learned their lesson about sending children into space. Yeah, right. The episode ends on a cliffhanger with the appearance of a giant monster, the Door Titan, snatching out the space shuttle from the Rangers, leaving them wondering just what to do now. Like I said before, this episode is just BAM! 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 One event leads to another, sometimes with no real transition or introduction. For example, how the Rangers get those bikes? What's the relationship between Barza and the Rangers? Why are those kids in space? Sorry, I'm done. For the most part, the sort of chaotic energy doesn't really hurt the episode. I was locked in from beginning to end, and I wanted to keep watching. But at certain moments, it felt like I was supposed to know what was happening when, I clearly didn't. I don't have any doubt that more lore will unveil itself as the season progresses. Goshi, Don, and Boy are knights of what I can only assume are their respective tribes or villages, and Geki and Mei are the prince and princess of theirs. We'll see if those titles have anything to do with the plot going forward, or if they're just that. Titles. As the first episode, I give it a solid 7.5 Dino Bucklers out of 10. I was drawn in by the action. I was sold on the introduction of our main villain, and it was a fun watch. That's going to conclude the first episode of this review series. Let me know your thoughts below. Did I miss something? Or do you agree or disagree with my assessment? Bye.